The NRB Vortex is a channel aluminum trainer. It is nice and textured, which I believe was new to the V3 version. This is the version 3 that I got straight from NRB himself. It is a designated trainer, so there is no live blade variant, unlike the Koenig and I believe the Nemesis. I don't know if the Nemesis is a live blade. Also, perceive my beautiful orange boy. His name's Kyo, and I love him so much. Now, the NRB Vortex is actually really nice. It's very neutral. It's very lightweight. Comes in at 3.62 ounces according to the website. I've weighed it before, and it was basically around that point too. But yeah, it feels really neutral. It is kind of clacky and like has a little bit of a high-pitched ring that might be grating to some people. Amazingly, not my cat. And it comes in 4 colors, which are magenta, gold, blue. It's like a nice dark blue. Like a not like a dark blue, like the cartridge of blue from Pokemon Blue. It's my, I don't know, like an azure. And then there's like this sort of lime green, which frankly I don't know how crazy I am about it. The thing about this is that this is a channel aluminum Balisong, which last I checked on my wall, I have like 6 or 7 or 8 live blades that are channel aluminum, and like a bunch of trainers, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, there's a lot. It is a very, very saturated price point and like demographic, I suppose. So the Vortex is unfortunately one of many in this, and that also includes its fellow NRB product, the Koenig, which I have, and it also has a live version, as well as a trainer version. And I don't know if the Koenig is better or worse than this. I haven't flipped a V2 Koenig. I have a V1 Koenig that's Cerakoted with a ROTB reblade. And while I really like this, it's just so fucking hard to stand out. And that's also if you only include channel aluminum. There's also plenty of sandwich aluminum Balisongs, such as the Orion 1.5, which is like $75. Truly one of the most unbeatable price to performance things. So I have yet to try the Navali's Canyon, which is steel. Now, at least the price is pretty good. It is $150 for a regular version and $125 for a blemished version. However, I'm pretty sure they're all sold out, and it was like open to pre-orders, and I'm frankly not sure if Garrett NRB made like a good turnaround on this. Balisongs, I made a video recently, but Balisongs are fucking expensive, and while he sold out, I'm not sure if it was like worth it for the amount of that he had to buy from like the machinists that like made it, because I'm pretty sure he has someone in China that does all the the majority of things, including the actual cutting and the machining and possibly the anodization. While he himself is American and does the assembly and the tuning. He does have to, like, basically, unless you have a large enough shop, you are doing, you're outsourcing your machining. A lot of people will outsource to JK if it's a titanium high-end Balisong, like a Grail, such as the Zyzix and the Phobos, and I believe the Hansen Metals Solo, and several other people, like the Goose by Arthur Goins. As for aluminum, a lot of people do go overseas, and again, with Chinese Balisongs also being pretty prevalent in the market, it's really hard to beat their prices too, because NRB is not Chinese himself. He's from Arizona. Now, this is a really nice Balisong. This legitimately is a very nice, very comfortable Balisong. It's got decent grip. Basically, my only like complaint is that the sound's just kind of a little annoying, and I think if Zippy were to ever make inserts for these, it could possibly kill the highest frequencies and not affect the balance too much, which, in my opinion, is quite nice. However, the Vortex, I believe, is just one of many channel aluminum Balisongs that, while they're really good, honestly, they're very nice, and it's a very nice weight if you like sub 4 ounces. I don't really know if it really managed to dig its heels into the market and make its mark. Garrett has also sort of taken a step back from his own business after being hired by MachineWise, which is great because MachineWise needed help, and Garrett, we know NRB. If you're in the community, we know NRB. His products are all good. Like all of his products that I have tried, the Koenig, the Ultralight, the Slight, the Vortex. I have not tried a V3 Nemesis, but I did like the V2 Nemesis wasn't like my favorite thing ever, but that's also just a preference thing. And like I think there might still be some, like, it's not available on his websites, but I feel like he did say at some point like you got to get yourself a V3 Nemesis, so maybe it's available or maybe he's coming back. It's a pretty affordable one too. Now that said, his products are good, but I believe he's somewhat slowed down, partially because he now has a part-time day job working at another Balisong maker, and a very, very popular good one at that too. And it's not a short commute. I know I don't want to give too much personal detail, but like he has a lot of driving, and I know that he's been less motivated to focus on his own products, which is like just a bit of a shame because goddamn, the Koenig slaps, the Slight fucks, this Vortex, it's good, and I think a lot of people out there would like it. However, when he was first selling these, I know he was also like doing a pre-order, and unless you were doing the most ridiculously like highly edited and produced video, aka anything that Squid puts out, or like the Nakiri by Blake, a lot of pre-orders such as the Tizona by Kanto Origin, as well as the Vortex V3 and the Nemesis V3, and Blox's Tundra, a lot of those just kind of go under the radar, and especially because they didn't have prototypes when the pre-orders were open. It was just kind of a, hey, I need to, like, and that's normal in the sense that, like, makers need to be able to gauge interest in order to be able to ask the machinists that they're buying, the parts wholesale from, and then they can get a proper order number. Like, oh, I need 20 of these, like if they have 20 pre-orders, then they can get that. But if only like 6 people pre-order, it's much, much, much more expensive to just do a prototype, like to buy a prototype and then to like build off of that and everything. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of effort, and a lot of people just are scared, and I think that's pretty reasonable. Now, granted, I think Garrett has had enough of a good will in the community that his products are good, and not to mention that these are both version 3s, the Vortex and the Nemesis. But I don't know if there's actually just a ton of these out there, and it's a shame. And marketing is hard, and it's expensive, and it's difficult, and unless you are just putting in tons of energy and effort, it's really hard to sell. So if you are able to find a Vortex V3, I would say go for it. It would have to be on the secondhand market, and it would probably be around $150 or less. If it was fucking dead ass mint like this one, if this was sold from Garrett, it would be like $150. But if it was sold secondhand from someone else, you might be able to get it for $125 or even possibly $100. And I think for $100, this thing was like, this would be totally worth it. If I found one of these for $100, I'd probably honestly go for it. But that said, also, my wall is somewhat full of many a Balisong, and I do have a stand over here. A lot of the Balis here are dedicated to knives that are not permanently in my collection. I'm trying to get rid of. A lot of Balisongs here are either sharp, and I use them to open my packages for this video, like these channel, as well as pass around knives. There's actually 10 Balisongs on this stand here. Check out the video. The Manifold 3D printed Balisong. But all in all, this Balisong, it's good, It does it honestly, it actually legitimately, it just basically does everything I want it to. I have had virtually no issues with doing any tricks. I feel like the carry is pretty solid. It's not very heavy. Like maybe like the blade could be a smidge heavier. And again, if Zippy ever did make inserts, it would probably feel really good with like inserts in. But like because of how pretty consistent the weight distribution is, I haven't had any issue. It's also really light. It fans beautifully. The rollovers are pretty seamless. Ladders are easy, and despite it being aluminum, the jimping's pretty solid. It goes up a high enough bit, and yeah, the backs are not textured, but it does have a faux speed channel, and so like on paper, this basically has everything it needs to be good. It's just that it's just really hard to make a channel aluminum Balisong that actually is able to like really impact the community at large. And many have tried, and many have mixed results at best. So unless you're Chinese, like LDY, unless you're Squid Industries, you're probably gonna have a really hard time with a channel aluminum Balisong that's of no, or unless you're like very unique and special, like the Icarus. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is really good, and I like aluminum. I think it's fine, and unless it's a really annoying bead blast that like has no texture, this is not that. This has face texture. It's really nice. It's comfortable, and unfortunately, as good as it is ultimately, I dare say, unremarkable, which is kind of heartbreaking, but I think these are good. I think if you see one for a good price, it could be very worth picking up, and especially if you're looking for a good budget Balisong. I wish NRB products were just more readily available, but again, that would depend on one, NRB being able to afford to just have them in stock, which would involve buying large batches from his manufacturer and then just having them sit in his store, that's risk. Two, it would involve him having to be able to have the energy and motivation to run his own company in the downtime that he has working for another Balisong maker. And if I have a three, I mean, it would involve you having to buy it, because if someone is going to go out of their way to make a bunch of Balisongs and, order all the parts, manufacture, yada, 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 you got to buy it. And, yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. I know that everyone on the internet has been trying to bully Garrett into doing a titanium Koenig, but we'll see. And we'll see what the future holds for both NRB as well as his products. The V3 Vortex, it's really good. If there's enough of demand, maybe he'll bring it back, but we'll have to see if there is such a demand. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Like this video, subscribe, check out the previous video where I did an unboxing. Oh yeah, also this tune, like the tune's really solid. Yeah, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 300 subscribers, and once I hit 500 subscribers, I'm gonna do a giveaway. Whoa, that's crazy! And so, help me get there, and you could win a free fucking Balisong. Wow, that's cool, isn't it? Happy flipping, and have a rest of your day.